Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, and the USO. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames, and we use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So today we had a little bit of a gap down in the morning. Let's go to the 10-minute real quick, just show you a little intraday action. So popped up over the moving averages, came right in, a little bit bearish consolidation, came right back down into this lower pivot area. You know, I thought for sure we'd get to the 214 area. They stopped it at the 750 retrace, popped it back up on light volume. We had 89 million on the day, and that includes after hours. Try to get it above the 200 moving average, and this little pivot up in here. At the end of the day, a little bit of sell-off, and that's it. We ended up 74 cents down. Not a big deal, but still light volume even on a big news day with the jobs report. But we're going to keep playing this market on the downside. Daily chart, we're still holding this trend line down here. We came back in, almost tested the low at 214 like we talked about on the intraday. Popped it back up, but they looks like they closed it. Let's see here. 215.08. They closed it right below the 20 MA. So technically we're a little bit on the weaker side, but as long as we stay above this trend line, we stay in this inside bar, we're consolidating sideways, setting up to possibly go lower. What they need to do, if you're bullish, they need to pop it above the 50, get it above this gap fill, and then ultimately retest the all-time high, which was, where is it? Of course I don't have it, 219.60. So, you know, until that time, we're still consolidating in this inside bar. Let's see what happens the following next week. Remember, Columbus Day, I believe the bond market is closed. So I'm sure we'll have just a light volume day and we'll probably float up. Or China's coming online, I believe, again, and we'll have to follow that one to see where that's going. But Monday will be interesting, but Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be watching for more volume and possibly some more selling. Weekly chart, same thing, inside bar. We closed here. It did retrace back to the 750, but it's chopping around on an inside bar pattern on the weekly as well. We are consolidating above the 20 MA. So let's see if we get another week or two of consolidation, then I think we could get some selling. If you're bullish, you need to get above this big red candle and with confirmation for it to go higher, and you still have to get below or above this trend line. We're kind of going in a pennant pattern. Let's see which way this will go in the next week or two, or next week possibly. But if we get some news over the weekend or something, we'll see how it reacts on Monday. Because right at this point, it's almost a news-driven market, and if we get light volume, then we just tend to float. Let's go to the IWM. IWM, let's go to the daily. Daily chart, same thing. We popped up. You know, pretty much just a float above the 20 MA. We came back in, popped it back up. We closed above this pivot, but never confirmed, came right back in. So we're inside this bar again. We're consolidating in a bearish pattern. And we did close, let's see, 89. Where was the close today? So we did close below the 50 on here too. Not a big deal. I want to see it close below the low here on next week on a daily close. Let's see if we can confirm and possibly move down. At this point, we've been consolidating for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. That's telling me we could possibly move down. They need to save this market. It needs to pop up above the highs and then go for the gap fill and then ultimately the all-time high. But remember, the IWM, it's been lagging. If this one isn't leading, here's the high. I mean, it's getting pretty close. You have a gap fill here. Gap fill and the all-time high right up in here. But it's been consolidating inside this bar, this big red bar, until it gets above there. Then it could possibly fill the gap and then go for the all-time high. But again, this is lagging. Usually the IWM should be leading. When it's lagging, it's just not a healthy market, in my opinion. So we'll see. I mean, we did close a little bit, almost below that little pivot or that little tail. Let's see if we could get down here and possibly get to the 20 MA. The markets are looking really, really tired, in my opinion. Again, it's lagging. We're not going to look at the monthlies because we still have a couple weeks left on that. Let's go to the Qs. The Qs are down 26 cents today. Yeah, and the IWM, that was the weak one of all of them. So got to keep an eye on that as well. So on the weekly chart of the Qs, We closed above and never closed above these high pivots, so now we're just consolidating in a bullish manner on the weekly chart. So let's see if we can go sideways and possibly pop up. If this pattern fails, then we'll possibly go down. And if a bullish pattern fails at the highs, we'll go down a little bit quicker. Let's go to the daily real quick. Same stuff, basically. We're down, we popped up. Bullish consolidation above the moving averages. This one it's got to get going, guys. I mean, even up here, it comes here, jobs report, comes back down, jobs report, comes over here, jobs report. And today, we didn't really get a bounce, which I was very surprised. I would have liked to have closed below the 1839 area. We closed at 1847, so it's still in a strong stance. We'll see. We'll get some more evidence next week or more pieces of the puzzle. And then we'll try to put them together and see which way these markets can go. Hey, guys, I'm having some live videos. I'm trying to post a time. I'm going to try to do them around noon New York time or Eastern time for the most part. So I'm going to try to post something maybe about 10-15 minutes earlier so it will post, and then we'll come live 15 minutes later. We just look through charts. We look through patterns. I'm trying to get some help from you guys on StockTwits or YouTube. So, tell me a pattern. Let's see what we're looking at. Let's try to make some money here in these markets. And, I stream live for maybe an hour and a half. We look through stuff. We cover the markets. We try to get some trades. And we go from there. It's been fun. I've had a couple people come in the room. We enjoy ourselves. I have a couple of the same guys coming in. And today, I think Visa was one of them. That was possibly a short, and then MasterCard as well. So, hey, keep coming in, guys. Keep subscribing to my channel, and let's make some money. So, all right. Anyways, the Dow Jones Industrial, same thing like the SPY, just chopping around, but it did close above the 20. So we'll see if this inside bar bearish pattern starts to play out. You have the same type of, you got the big, trend line down in here. That, you could probably connect that low there. So you got that trend line there, and then ultimately, it's like a spider web. And you got this one up here coming down. I mean, that one, this is getting a little more interesting too. See if we can get above that or if it stays below it next week. So next week, we'll see. Volume kind of died out towards the end of the week here. So we'll see what happens. Weekly chart. Weekly chart, same thing. You got that pennant pattern coming, a big wedge coming in. You have the inside bar. 4 weeks of consolidation. I think this thing's setting up to go lower. If you want it to go higher, it needs to get above this inside bar, this big red candle, and close. And then it needs to close above the all-time high, which I don't know why I don't have my 52-week high. So I think it was like 186.83. I'm gonna say 187. Let's just call it that. Then monthly chart we're not gonna look at. But yeah, I mean, so far this is a bearish pattern. Still bullish because it's above all the moving averages. But ultimately, I think it's setting up on this inside bar to possibly give us lower prices. Let's look at the IYT. The IYT daily. I don't know why all my stuff keeps disappearing. I had all these charts, all these things. Maybe I'm deleting them. But ultimately, here was your line in the sand on this IYT. It needed to stay above there, and it actually popped above, then came right back in. Got above, right here, never confirmed, came right back in. So that's telling me that we could possibly have some lower prices next week. You get up here to a pivot high, and it tries and tries and tries, and then reverses down. That's weak to me. And it was down $1.27, so it had a pretty good reversal, and we closed below that pivot low too. Let's look at the weekly though. The weekly, we've been talking about this pattern, about the 145.63 and this bullish pattern. Remember, we wanted to see a close above the 143, say now 145. Let's see, where is it? Say 146 area, right in there. And you know what? I don't even have to draw it in. We did not. See how it closed? That's why we're waiting on the weekly. Because if you're doing it on a daily, you would have stopped out above it saying, you know what, that's it, it's closed above it, blah, blah, blah. But it never confirmed on the daily either. But here it went straight up, came right back in, closed below. That's telling me we can possibly see some lower prices. So we're going to see next week if it could close above here this time. But now if we can close below this low, that little pivot, or that tail, or wick you want to say, if we could get below this red, or this big green candle, that would be a little bit more on the bearish side. It's still in a bullish stance above the MAs, but man, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks consolidation. This thing should have blasted off today, but you know what? Didn't. Maybe they were waiting on the jobs report. Like I said, everything's a news-driven market. Next one will be the earnings. So came or bounced up or pushed up, came right back in today. Still didn't get above that area. I mean, it tried here, tried there, tried here, tried here, tried here. That's a big area. That's your line right there. And if that doesn't hold, then, I just want to put this one in here too. You got some more support down in here too. So if we start to sell, we'll start to go through the moving average. That's the first step. Get to this trend line, and I think we could start stair-stepping down, possibly. And again, the IYT, another one just like the IWM, should be at the highs. The markets were leading. Why is this thing lagging big time? This thing should be the leader. This thing should be making new highs right now, guys. It's the bottom line, and it's not. So you got to be really, really careful with this one. And then our favorite, the USO. We had the oil rally. Oh my gosh, it's great. Hurry up. Chase it. Chase it. So we went right into my area. First one was the gap fill, 130 or 1138. Next one was the 1154. Went right into it. Nice engulfing reversal. Filled the gap coming back down, and we closed right below the gap, which I'm liking that. And we closed back below the 1180, 1138 as well. So we got above that area, never confirmed, came right back in. Let's look at the weekly. And we are short this one, and we took the SEO too, and we added more in the SEO as well. Not going to mess around here. We've done this before, and again, it's just we'll see next week. I can't say too much, but we came right up into this area. I wanted to see a close above the 138 area or the 154 area on the weekly, and it didn't. But we did close above the MAs. Now your next bet is you got to close above 1154. Where was the high? Can I get into this one? Yeah, 1150. I think it was 1154 was the high, and we got to close above that next week to confirm. So above these moving averages, and then possibly more upside. You're looking at 1166 right here, and then these high pivots here ultimately around 12 bucks or so if it goes up. If this thing comes in next week, we're going to look for a close below the MAs and possibly just a head fake here, and then a slam into next week. Like I said, dollar's been rolling up, and oil's been going up. There's a little disconnect there. Let's look at the UUP real quick. One more. So the dollar, I looked at this earlier today on the daily. We did get above this trend line, but didn't confirm. We have a little bit of a tail here with some volume, so it could come back in. If it comes back in, the oil could possibly move up a little bit more. But we are above the trend line. We are above the moving averages, so the dollar's a little bit strong right now. Let's see if we could get a pattern and maybe a breakup, or this thing comes right back in, and then another head fake on this comes back in. Dollar goes down, gold goes up, oil goes up. It's as simple as that. Weekly chart though, excuse me. Weekly chart not bad. We did get above the trend line, but the 50 MA held it down too. So you got some big resistance up here. That's the other reason why this went up, and then it came right back in again. So let's see on the weekly chart if we could get above the 50 MA. And then we'll go for this pivot around 25.21, and then we'll stick a trend line in there, right in there, 25.21. Then I think we could go here in the double top, and ultimately you have a gap fill up in here, and then we'll reevaluate this chart. Monthly chart, let's look at the monthly because we haven't looked at this. This one here, we still in the bearish inside bar, but we also have a micro bullish pattern setting up to possibly move higher. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, we got above that trend line. We need to get above the 20 MA. Which is 25.15 or so at the end of the month. So we still have plenty of time on that one. All right, guys, that's it for now. But like I said, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've been doing some live stuff during the intraday action, during the market hours. We've been trying to find some trades, some scalps. We had Goldman Sachs we didn't take, but it actually pulled back. We had an HD trade yesterday that we made some money on. And there was a couple of other trades that we looked at. There's some possible action, some shorts. No longs right now. We talked about that in my live stuff, but subscribe. We're going to pump out some more live stuff during the next week and during market hours, and we'll see how it goes. I'm still learning how to do it, so I'm adjusting stuff and seeing what the best way to send emails out or notices to say, hey, I'm going live in 15 minutes. Come on in, bring some symbols. Let's have some fun. All right, guys, hopefully you're enjoying my videos. Thanks again for watching them. And thanks again for following me and all that good stuff. I'm on Twitter. I'm on StockTwits, all that. And there goes the phone right at the end. All right, guys. Thanks for watching my videos. God bless. See you on the charts.